Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk with ZTS, where we, as brothers, search for ways to share our voices while having a good time just talking, having those real talk conversations, our shared experiences, and reacting to random topics and articles. As we always say, we all have something to share, and we look forward to sharing and building that community of stories that we can all relate to. Now enjoy the episode. Oh man, just answering some work calls because we just realized that we have this whole thing going on tomorrow, and no one knows who the instructor is and who is unlocking the facility.
Just realize.
Yeah, well, it was kind of fun because it was the person who this week is crazy. There's like everyone and their mom is on vacation this week for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So like this camp got here on Sunday, so I've been trying to deal with this stuff on campus.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are in my control, at least, because they approached me with a couple things. Like even today, they were supposed to have like a pool time set up in the evening, but then when I reached out to the pool because they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it was one of those things where like I think there was some mishaps, and well, yes, there were some mishaps in some of the scheduling stuff. But when the group was asking me today, before I left even, and that's kind of why I was a little bit later, they were like, hey, where's the bus picking us up tomorrow? Is it supposed to be at the dorm or outside of the dining center? And I was like, I have no idea.
Jeez.
Because like all I do with this group is I technically coordinate the food and the housing situation for the week, and then any building use, but their schedule is actually run through like our continuing education portion of the department and stuff. So with those people on vacation this week, there were some notes left for certain things, but then this one kind of just popped up like last minute, and they're like, oh yeah, where's the bus picking us up? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Let me find out for you. And then I started to think, I'm like, I have no idea, one. And then because they have to take a bus and it's like 30 minutes away.
Is this the students have to take a bus or
the students? Because they're a part of a course that I say we, but one of the departments on campus has like scheduled and done all these things and set up all of the trainings, because it's like a lot of it's, survival training, firefighter training, all that stuff to kind of get kids interested in that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool, but I just realized, as I was saying these things and as I was leaving, I was like, shit, I don't know who's supposed to open the facility, because the people that normally work out of that facility are on vacation.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who the instructor is. So like right now I'm like looking through my contacts, and I was like taking calls still.
Jeez.
So that's why I was hoping Dustin could kind of fill that void of like, oh, hey, I'm going to mute myself for a second kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was going to be a back and forth, like, oh, live reaction kind of thing. But so I'm just kind of working through it right now, trying to figure out who the heck is even supposed to be there, how they're getting in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
sorry, man.
A cluster.
What a summer for you when it comes to work. But we'll keep it short and sweet. Doesn't look like Dustin's gonna be on tonight, which is okay. I have some really cool articles that I saved from like the past month that we kind of haven't seen each other. But I'll keep it for it's nothing that will expire. So it's something that we could continue to push off to another week. But yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet. Let's jump into our article reaction segment.
I was gonna say, before we do that, how was your honeymoon, bro?
Oh, dude.
I'm sure Dustin will ask about it in the next episode, but he's not here, so
thanks. Thanks for asking. No, dude, Iceland is beautiful. I mean, you know me, I'm not much of a hiker, but it's a hiker's like paradise. It's like the natural wonders there, the like black sand beach, the waterfalls. Saw the craters, the glaciers. Beautiful. But the one thing that I probably uh grew to hate
Mm.
is the wind there.
The
Is
wind.
the wind is incredibly strong. And I thought, here living here in the Pacific Northwest, we get our wind storms, our gray weather type deals. And a little wind doesn't hurt, right? It's like, it's whatever. A little rain doesn't hurt. But we happened to be there at the same time when they had a crazy storm, especially windstorm that kind of like shut down like half of the island. Luckily, it's more in like the mountains, glaciers, so it didn't really impact like our trips. However, throughout the whole island, still suffered like 25, 30 miles per hour wind. Even if like imagine you just walking downtown in the capital and it's just a strong gust of wind. Like everyone's always in a jacket. Plus, it was like 40-degree weather the whole time there. Um, everybody's always in a jacket or, hiking clothes and a beanie. It was the common wear there. You don't see anyone dressed like, in a suit or like clubbing outfits. Everyone's always in, even when they go out, everyone's just wearing some sort of like snow gear. Um, but like, yeah, we got lucky because besides that, the one scary moment was when we were on the South Coast.
Yeah.
I drove through a dust storm for the first time. That
Mm.
was one of the scariest shit I have experienced because we're on the South Coast, the 25 mile per hour wind shaking our rental car. We got a Kia. It's called a Kia Stonic. It's like a Euro Asian version. You can't find in the US, but it's like, think of it as like a little mini car. And like you could feel the wind shaking it. And like we're driving on this road. The roads are very kept and clean, by the way. Like it's very easy to drive in Iceland.
Hmm.
It's just literally the weather that is very like crazy. And so we're driving, this is our first time driving um on the South Coast. It's a 3-hour drive to go from this South Coast city that we stayed at. And we're just going a 3-hour drive for the day to go visit the glaciers, which is about a 3-hour drive on the South Coast. And we're driving, and in the distance, we're like, damn, look at that. Like it just looked like pollution, right? It's like this like brown like wall that's like, maybe 4 or 5 miles away from us on this road. And as we get closer, we see it just gets thicker and thicker. And literally when we get into it, it's just like visibility is shot. You literally see the dust just climbing over you. I'm not gonna lie, dude. What freaked me out the most was that I was like, if we see a fucking tornado, like I don't know what to do. I'm scared as shit. But
Yeah.
turns out Iceland's too cold to have any tornadoes. But still, though, just shit got me thinking because I'm like, what if we broke down? Like it was literally, and we went early in the morning too, like 7 a.m. To 8 a.m. ish, somewhere around that time. So there wasn't a lot of cars on the road yet. A lot of people drive in Iceland, but we just went early enough where like all the tourists, are still waking up. So and so there's like, maybe like not that many cars on the road. But anyways, yeah. But once we cleared that, it was smooth sailing. Everything was a lot easier. But shit, dude, like that scared the shit out of me. My first ever drive through a sandstorm. And then coming back, we came back in like the later not the evening, because we didn't want to risk the storm getting worse.
Yeah.
And so we came back kind of like in the later afternoon, maybe like around 3 p.m. And there was a lot more cars with us. So when we drove back through that sandstorm, it wasn't that bad because we were kind of like in a caravan with a bunch of other cars. But yeah, man, even when we went to the Blue Lagoon, that was one of my favorite vacations. Blue Lagoon, definitely not overrated. If
Mm.
anyone can get a chance to go to it, it's amazing. And plus, by the way, remember we are telling you it's a windstorm going on. So
Yeah.
like, even though you're like in your swim trunks, shirtless, and you're like in the wind and the gray clouds and sometimes a little bit of sprinkle in the rain, but
Yeah.
because you're in this hot spring, like you still felt comfortable. You didn't feel like cold. And then also at the same time, I don't know if you knew, but like the volcano was erupting again,
Yeah.
but it was safe enough where because the volcano is around the area where the Blue Lagoon is at. And so that's typically where the volcano erupts all the time. And so it was a small volcano was erupting, but it was safe enough where you can still be there. And we stayed there a night at the Blue Lagoon. And but it was cool because we're in the Blue Lagoon. You could actually in the foreground see the volcano erupting and spewing like lava. So it was like cool, like you're chilling, you're being comfortable in the lagoon, but then you got this kind of like pending doom in the distance. Um and then after we left, like 2 days later after we left the Blue Lagoon and to go to other parts of Iceland, that's when the volcano erupted even more and the lava actually spewed over roads, shutting down the Blue Lagoon for like an indefinite time. So we got really lucky because that was like one of the biggest things we wanted to experience. And before we arrived in Iceland, they were already giving warnings like the volcano's erupting. The Blue Lagoon actually temporarily shut down for a couple of days, but our reservation was the one day that we got there that they just reopened. So we were able to stay there, enjoy it, stay there at night, and then we were out. And then 2 days later, shut down again. It's still shut down right now because the lava literally spewed all over the main roads. But yeah, man, Iceland's good. I would recommend people go there. I mean, I think like you and Allie would love it. Like the hikes aren't even that difficult. Like a lot of the like Iceland knows that a lot of their natural wonders is like for tourists. So like they all the trails, all the parking to every like waterfall, every crater, there's like paid parking, easy to pay for by the way. And no matter where you are in Iceland, even when you leave the capital and you go to more like the south coast where it's like smaller towns, everybody, and I'm talking about everybody, even their grandmas accept credit cards. And so, or like not even credit cards, dude, Apple Pay. Like everyone's using Apple Pay. Even the grandmas know how to use it. Like, yeah, it's in, even though like, and all the roads are paved and super easy to drive on. And even though you feel like you're secluded, like if you're going like kind of out in the like South Coast, for example, there's like lampposts, cameras everywhere. So it's like the island is very surveyed and you don't feel lost at all. And there's so many tourists like from all over the world. Like in English all over the country is a dominant language. And especially for Americans, if you're afraid to drive there, don't, because it's like North American, like driving where the steering wheel's on the left side, drive is on the right side. So like everything was just really good. Like me and Vanessa were like talking about like going to like Europe next year, somewhere in Europe. Like we're thinking like maybe Spain or France or whatever, like the typical stuff. And we were watching some videos on it and like, how English is different there. And me and Vanessa are like, damn, we're spoiled that we went to a European country, Iceland. But they predominantly speak English. And when we're gonna go to a more like European country, like yeah, we're gonna be like the foreigners. Like we need to know another language.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's gonna cater to, speaking English like in Iceland.
Yeah.
Um,
Seriously.
yeah, but it was great, man. Thanks for asking. It was like oh, and it was 24-hour daylight. So like that also kind of played into the safetyness of things because you know me, I'm kind of a vigilant. Sometimes I get paranoid too much, right?
Yeah.
But like I think 24-hour daylight made things feel a little safer, especially if like, we're staying out later in the city, right? I mean everyone's nice there. Iceland is historically, factually, statistically, currently the safest country in the world. Um, but everyone's nice there. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I recommend you guys going, dude.
Yeah. I was going to say, what,
Yeah.
how did the 24 hour, because I saw that and I was just
Yeah.
like, how was that? Like, I mean, other than, the safety factor, but like,
Yeah.
that a little weird in terms of like, you don't really know ever what time of day it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And Plus
Yes
the
and no.
sleeping thing. Obviously, you have to close some curtains
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something because
They
it's
have like every hotel like
blackout.
has like the blackout curtains. I mean,
Yeah.
even then, like blackout curtains aren't totally blackout. Like, right,
Right.
light still trickles from the bottom or the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely bring your eye mask. That is the biggest thing. Sleep eye mask, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, dude, um, like it wasn't too bad, and here's why. Because like we had a set routine, right? We got up early, had breakfast at the hotel, um, and then like we would just go do our hikes, do our sightseeing. So like that's already tiring because we were literally hiking every day,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though the hike wasn't like crazy hike, but we're on our feet, we're driving to a destination. So like, and so by the time we get back, we have dinner, and then you know by the time even though it's like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and it's still bright out, like bright like right now, you just feel tired because you're just exhausted, so you go to sleep. And then once you we were there for like about over a week. So when you do that like every single day, it just becomes a set routine where it's like dude, I've usually on vacation, it actually this honeymoon actually helped me sleep better, knock on wood. I hope I don't break my habit. Like even now, because of the jet lag, I'm having good sleep.
Yeah.
Like in the past couple days, when we landed too, because of the 24-hour daylight, not we landed like even the past couple nights, we would like go to bed at like 6 p.m, you know,
Yeah.
and just knock out. Like I just feel my body just exhausted and I just knock out. And that's what was going on in Iceland. Like you would just get so exhausted, you just knock out, wake up early the next day, refresh, and do it again. And so, um,
I just
so
think
like,
I
yeah,
was like just a random thought. I think it's funny, like just randomly if you were just like you did that method and then you just like were like, oh yeah, it's great. It's morning and it's like 9 p.m. You're like, I have no idea what happened. But because
yeah,
there's 24-hour sunlight, I have no what?
yeah.
Then you
No,
just get thrown
seriously.
off and stuff.
Yeah. If you didn't have a schedule, I can see that happening. But
Yeah,
like if you
for
had a
sure.
set schedule,
Yeah.
like and you set your alarm to wake up at, 7 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
yeah, so
I'm thinking
but yeah,
more
but
of like if someone didn't have a phone or something. Can
yeah,
you
you just
imagine? Just like you
you just
pass.
black out drunk one night.
Yeah.
Like you went to the bar, it's like midnight, but it's still bright. You
Yeah.
black out, and then you're like, oh, I should be okay. I should get up. And it's like you're like, oh, went back in time. It's 9 p.m. No, dude,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like I don't know, like it felt good. It felt refreshing, even though we did a lot. It's funny because like it's a 7-hour time difference from Seattle, and
Yeah.
so we left Iceland at 11 in the morning, and then we landed in Seattle at 11 in the morning, and
Yeah.
so we just like continued our day, but we were exhausted. We literally um like we stopped by to see family real quick because we had to go pick up Axel and like see her family, see my family for a bit, and then her family happened to have a barbecue that day, so we stopped there real quick, and then we like ate. That was like our only meal of the day, so we had like dinner there.
Yeah.
And then we came back home, unpacked a little bit, but other than that, just washed up. I showered immediately because all I wanted to do was just like lay down on the floor. Um,
Yeah.
and then like Vanessa like just took a nap, and then I stayed up a little bit watching TV, and then like she took a nap at like 7 p.m. and I took a nap like closer at 9 p.m. And so I just knocked out on the couch. She's like sleeping on the floor. And so I knock out, right? And then I wake up and I realize it's like well, I don't know what time. I woke up and I see her like just like sitting, like staring at me. Not in a creepy way, but like, like she's kind of sitting, like sitting up.
Yeah.
And and she felt me wake up, and so she's just kind of looking at me, and I kind of look up and look around and just see her staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just kind of like roll over again and just fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then the next time I woke up, I see her sleeping again, and Axel's sleeping by her on the ground because I'm on the couch. So, and I'm like, okay, let's go in now. Like we've been sleeping too long. I look at the clock; it was 4 a.m. So like we just knocked out, and So I guess that time when Vanessa sat up looking for me or looking at me, she thought that I was ready to get up and go to bed, but because so she was waiting for me to get up, but I just kind of turned over and went back to sleep. And
Yeah.
then so she was just like, all right, I'll just go back to sleep too. And then we woke up at 4 a.m. She still had to shower because she didn't shower since the airport. Like we literally came home.
Oh,
I showered, so I'm like, just brushed my teeth, hopped in bed, and so she actually had to shower again. Um, but yeah, man. Other than that, it's been pretty good. Um, so I would go again. I
yeah.
really would. We only did the north. Like I would like to go there now. Kind of like in the fall season where it's the opposite now, where it's like less daylight and the
Yeah.
majority of like nighttime. But
Nighttime.
that's when you get to see the northern lights, and so
Yeah.
that's one thing that I want to go see this next time around.
I know. It's like then it, when I think it's like 24-hour, like almost darkness, I think of
Yeah,
those like places that are like that for like weeks or
yeah.
months. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know how you do it. And it reminds me of that one movie, like that vampire movie. I don't know.
Oh,
Do you
you
remember that
the one in
movie?
Alaska,
Yeah, yeah,
30
yeah.
Days a Night. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah. 30 Days a Night. Yeah. And
that
I'm just like,
movie still creeps me out.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go someplace where it's going to be nighttime for a long time.
yeah. Oh man. But every time that movie, like, I'm usually not a fan of like, you know me, I love horror movies. Like
Yeah.
it's my go-to. Um, but usually those movies which you would consider horror action,
Yeah.
I don't really care for because I think it's like cheesy, stupid. But that movie genuinely creeps me out is because those vampires are brutal. Like they like, you know, yeah, the way that they killed everyone on there. See,
Yeah.
when shit like that happens, man, like if vampires are real and they take over the world, like that is one of the times where I'll be like, yeah, I'll be one of you. Just
Yeah.
bite
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. Just bite me. I'll be one of you. I'll become and then later on, assuming that they're like an evil group of people,
Yeah.
um, later on I could, become like the next Blade or something. Um, but unless they're good people, then it's like, oh shit. Well, I'm one of you now. Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Well, I got a couple articles to react to and just to keep it short. I love bringing the stuff, big news from Japan. Um, so I have a couple. Let's see. All right, this one's pretty cool. I never thought of this, but so Japan just recently created the first ever satellite made out of wood. You know,
What?
durable wood. So like they use I forgot which type of wood it is, but the point of it is to be more eco-friendly and have less debris when it re-enters Earth. Because
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and apparently, um, one of the biggest question was like, well, will it like deteriorate quicker than metal? And what they found out was actually no, it deteriorated less quicker because like with the wood, since there's no oxygen in space, the wood actually outlasted like metal or whatever is used typically on spacecraft. And it's also cheaper to manufacture. So Japan is right now kind of like at the forefront of making more eco-friendly satellites. So again, man, that's another thing that's um another win, man.
I know, right?
You guys lost on Otani, but Japan wins
Huh.
on the satellite. Oh man. I haven't heard any new news about Otani, but I heard like um what, they just brush it on the rug right now?
Yeah, pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, there was like they're talking about all these other players though. They're talking about I think they just found
Yeah.
like five other players that gambled,
Yeah, I saw that one guy just got kicked out of the
banned.
league.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't understand that though. Like, so it is legal to bet, but on other sports, but you can't bet on your own sport. But why would you do that? It's
Yeah, I know. It's
like
a pretty
yeah,
like I feel like it's a pretty straightforward rule. Just don't bet on the sport that you play.
yeah.
Like it just, I don't know. I
It's weird to me. Yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
weird.
not like yeah, uh, like all these players getting kicked out of the league and all that stuff, including basketball, all over, and it's just like why? Like, what do you have to gain?
Hmm.
But then again, just like the movies, right? You never know. Like, are they all these like hidden agendas that we don't see, right? That is this player working with the mafia? Do they have his family hostage? You know, and so he has to do whatever he can to throw the game, including make bets. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah. You
All
think
right,
people would
here's
learn after Pete Rose got basically that.
yeah.
It's the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. So
Here's another one from Japan. Not a maybe it could be another um trend setter move. But so I talked about this a couple times from different articles, but Japan um in the last year alone, they documented that they had twice as many deaths as births last year. So,
uh-huh.
we talked about how Japan's having like a population crisis. I mean, all over the country. I mean, all over the world. Um, but to try to resolve this, the government is now stepping in, and they are creating their own dating app to try to
Huh.
get more people to date, because they found out that you might ask why, if there's already dating apps and other stuff, but they're learning in Japan that's over about 70% of their population um, who wants to get married, they aren't using apps or doing events or anything. So basically, survey says 70% of Japanese people do want to get married, but they're not doing anything about it. So the
Yeah.
government's like, okay, then we're going to help you, realize your goals. um I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. The government already has so much of your information. Now it's like, now they're playing, matchmaker.
I know, right?
Yeah. But again, Japan leading the way. Who knows, man?
I know.
I personally would what was that other article we read a long time ago? Was it in Korea or Japan where no, it was in Korea where like businesses, like companies were offering their employees like what 10K or something just to get married or have kids, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or more than that. I think they were offering like almost like 50K.
Yeah. It
I was
was
like,
like, yeah, there was definitely like an incentive there. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I'd rather take the incentive if that's the case.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, one more thing. I think this one's pretty cool. Uh, maybe I'll also ask this again with Dustin next week, but wanted to bring this up. So there's this new concept that has been growing, and I think you've been seeing this. It's a
I was
new
gonna
like
I was gonna say I was gonna bring this up Nick last week. I wonder if
yeah,
it's
what
the
was that?
same thing.
Yeah, so it's a new concept. It's a different conversation starter. Um, it's a concept known as big screen purchases. Is that the same thing?
No, actually that was
Oh, okay.
different. That was different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Save what you're gonna say for next time.
Oh
But
yeah.
but the concept of big screen purchases, where apparently I've been seeing it and I never thought of it, but now it's becoming a more research thing, where like this is like the difference between a millennial and a Gen Z. Um, where the concept of big screen purchases is like, as a millennial, and you and I probably agree to this, there's certain things that we're only comfortable buying online using the computer and not the phone. Where Gen Zs now, they'll buy literally anything, no matter how big of a purchase online via phone. And so So it's a concept called big screen purchases, and here's the conversation starter. So let me ask you this: what's the most expensive thing you ever bought on your phone, and also where would you draw the line, if any?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
Most expensive thing I bought on my phone. That I don't know. I'm trying to think.
yeah. I I'll go first. Like
Yeah, go for it. I'm
I'll
just trying
say
to think.
this.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I don't feel comfortable at all unless it's an emergency to buy
Right.
a plane ticket on my phone. I feel like the functionality of
Yeah.
trying to use my phone to purchase something big like an airplane ticket
Yeah.
doesn't work for me because um I'm very stickler about like making sure I spell my name correctly,
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gender correctly, right? Like those are like very big things that you don't want to mess up. And but the most expensive thing I bought, um like sometimes like you can only buy certain things on your phone, like me buying a show ticket. But then again, those aren't like I don't I think the most expensive thing I ever bought is like maybe no more than $50 or something. Like I think one time we had to buy some tickets to go to like a tulip festival,
Mm.
and just so that we didn't like I don't think we were by the computer at the time, but just so that we didn't run out of tickets, just bought it on my phone. Um,
Yeah, I think
so
yeah, if we're
yeah,
talking like that kind of stuff, I've definitely bought like a flight on my phone. I've
yeah,
definitely bought tickets to something on my phone.
yeah,
But I'm trying to think like if I bought, I mean, sometimes my Amazon order, like if I have to put a lot of stuff
yeah.
in the cart, in
I think those don't count because those
yeah,
that's through an app. I think
yeah,
this is
that's
more
fair.
of
That's
like
fair.
you pulling up like a web page
Oh
and
yeah, then
going to a site.
probably
Yeah,
nothing then because I usually buy things through apps if anything on my phone.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah,
what's a
yeah.
non-app? Because for me too, I buy like things off eBay, Amazon,
Oh yeah,
no
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal, like big purchases on there. But those are apps, and you trust those apps. But I'm talking. I think this concept is more about like pulling up a web page, Safari on your phone, and buying like I don't know Taylor Swift tickets,
Yeah,
on your
no,
phone.
I know that's a good point.
Yeah, for me, it's like I said, tickets to like some obscure thing like Tulip Festival, or maybe I think I bought a couple tickets online for a show that I had to like do quickly, and so instead of like waiting to get home, I'm like, let me just do it on
Yeah, I mean,
my
most of the tickets
phone.
I buy online are like, or on my phone, are usually through like a ticketing app.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, like things like, I don't know, the Puyallup
yeah,
Fair or something. Yeah, you go on
yeah,
your phone or something.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess the question is then like, let's say non-app related stuff.
yeah,
Let's say your app, let's say your plane, whatever plane airline you're with, didn't work, and it required you to go on a browser. Do you feel comfortable doing on your phone's browser, or do you just wait until you get on the laptop?
I mean, I would probably do it on a laptop, but
Yeah,
that's that. I mean, that's me.
same.
Um, just because, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
trying to think. Yeah, maybe I might have gotten like sucked into like one of the ads that runs on like Instagram or something like that before,
hmm,
where I've gotten like um yeah, but see even those now are on like the shop app. Um
yeah.
I mean I bought some watch bands for my
Like
Apple
for
Watch. Yeah.
like using a non-app.
Yeah, it was like through I mean
Yeah,
it was through Instagram, like you know how an ad pops up and I
yeah,
just couldn't remember how to get to it, so I just went to the ad. So I might have done that where I spent like, like $80 on like four watch straps or something
yeah,
like I'm using right now. But
yeah, yeah. It is,
just yeah, I think that
but
might have been the I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't think I've ever
but it's a crazy concept, right? Because like you have
yeah.
like Gen Zers, this generation where they grew up with their phones, and so like literally
Yeah.
their
That's
lives are on the phone.
well, yeah,
And
yeah. I
we
mean, and
yeah
that says a lot because obviously we grew up with computers. You know what I mean? I mean, we had phones, but
Yeah, but we had like a
most of us,
separation of things, right?
oh yeah,
Like
most of us had laptops growing up, in
like
some
I'll
way.
be yeah, like I'll be curious to ask like the Gen Zers who are like comfortable with this big screen purchase or little screen purchasing. I'm
Yeah,
curious. Like to me, it feels like they have no need for a laptop because they
yeah,
can do everything on their phone. And so for our generation, we're like, oh, we need that separation. We need a laptop. We need a phone. But it's like technology these days is so good. Yeah, technically your phone can do everything a computer can.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I know
yeah,
it's kind of crazy. I mean, and then you
yeah,
have people that do it on iPads. So I mean, like, it's kind of
yeah,
weird because, like,
yeah,
is an iPad a computer or is it a phone? I mean, it's a tablet, but
right.
so then it's like, maybe the screen's a little bit bigger, so I trust myself.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the
Right.
trusting
Yeah,
part.
it's literally that.
Yeah,
No, no, I don't know. I think it's for me, and yeah, I know I can do it on my phone, but like, there's certain things like when you're buying flights, like it's not only the security of the app or the web page, but and being on the screen and all that stuff. But then, I open a private browser so that it
hmm
doesn't like look at my recently, like, all my cache and all that stuff, to where it's like, oh, you've looked at this before. Let me raise the prices on you, kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'll be curious to see Dustin's what Dustin's response is too.
yeah. And then we
Yeah,
got to get some Gen Z or something.
yeah. All right, man. Well, that's all the time we got for today. Let you get back to doing what you got to do, and it was good catching up with you. Any final
Yeah.
thoughts before we wrap it up?
Um, no, I think we're good for today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I'm kind of waiting for it to die down out here a little bit for that, because we're gonna do an evening walk, but it's
yeah.
still 95 degrees. So I'm
Oh,
like,
geez.
I'm gonna wait until
Yeah,
maybe an hour. Maybe it'll drop to like 80 something.
yeah. Still hot.
I know
No,
it's
I felt
still
it
still
felt
hot.
good. It felt good to come back from Iceland to warm weather because as
Yeah,
soon as we came back, it was like this weekend in Seattle was like 80 degrees, so it was like
yeah.
it was much needed. Um, all right, man. Well, let's keep talking with each other, keep thinking together, and keep growing together. And we'll see y'all next time.